Hello and welcome back to this course. In the previous session we have discussed about nesting of loops, okay, and the important statements like break and continue. Now in this session we are going to see the application of nested loop, okay. So basically these nested loops are used to generate various kinds of patterns, okay, like uniform stars, stars as a pyramid, increasing as well as decreasing, central, numbers, increasing, decreasing, okay. There are lots of patterns that can be generated using the nested loops, okay. So we'll see how we can generate this kind of pattern, okay. Let's start with the code block window. Create a new empty file, save, create a new folder for patterns, okay. Give the name pattern1.c, click save. Add the comment as pattern1 include, start the void main function, define the two variable, let's say int I comma j, okay. Here the variable I will be used to control the row and j will be used to control the column, okay. So we can use nested for loop. So for I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 5, I plus plus, okay. So we are displaying for 5 rows, okay. Now within it again we can use for loop. So j equal to 1, j is also less than equal to 5, j plus plus, and within this we can write printf star semicolon. Outside this loop we will printf the new line. That's it. Just build and run the code, okay. So you can see 5 stars are printed in 5 rows, okay. I hope the flow is clear, that outside for loop is controlled when the inner for loop is completed from 1 to 5. That means for I equal to 1, j is from 1 to 5 and printing 5 stars, and after that new line and I is incremented to 2, okay. So in the next second line again j is from 1 to 5. Similarly for third, fourth and fifth line, okay. Let's create another empty file. Save this as pattern2.c within the same folder. You can just copy this code, paste here, and there is slight change. Instead of star just write %d and comma j. Now if you will build and run this code, you will see the stars are replaced by the values of j, that is 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now create one more empty file. Save this file as pattern3.c and paste the code. Now here just remove the test expression as j less than equal to I, okay. Now let's build and run the code. Now you will see the output as triangular stars increasing at each line, okay. Now again if we replace the star by %d comma j, then it will be printed as 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5, okay. So let's try this. Modify within the same code. Now let's build and run the code. This is the output, okay. Let's create one more empty file. Save this as pattern4.c, okay. Again paste the same code. Now here just modify the outer loop which will be decreasing, that is for I equal to 5, I greater than equal to 0 and I minus minus, okay. And in the test expression of inner for loop, j should be less than equal to I, okay. Now let's try to build and run the code. So now you can see the output as decreasing triangle of stars, okay. Similarly if we again modify this using %d comma j, we'll get the stars replaced by the value of j, okay. So let's build and run the code. So here's the output, okay. So similarly you can design number of patterns, okay. Let's try one more. Create a new empty file again. Save this as pattern5.c. Paste the same code. Let's add one more variable k. Within the main for loop just define another for loop. So for k equal to 5, k greater than equal to I, k minus minus, and within this loop we have to printf space, okay. And in the second for loop j is less than equal to I. So let's now try to build and run the code. You will see the output as aligned star pattern, okay. Now if we add space within the star and now build and run the code, you will see the perfect center pyramid, okay. So similarly by modifying the parameters in the for loop, you can generate the multiple patterns, okay. So I hope the application of nested for loop is clear. You can explore number of patterns for your practice, okay. So that's all for this session. See you in the next one.